With production of gold declining year after year and gold prices close to all-time highs, major gold mining companies are hungry for quality assets in friendly jurisdictions. Because of their mining-friendly laws, proven history of gold, and the underexplored nature of the region, Scandinavia is one of the most exciting areas in the world for gold exploration. This isn't yet being appreciated by the market, and that means that there's a tremendous opportunity for investors in companies that are already well on their way to proving out quality resources in the region. Adam, thank you so much for being here with me today.
Thank you, Max. Happy to be here.
All right, so let's talk about what you are trying to put together at Goldline. It's quite an interesting gold exploration company. There are not many of you in that region of the world. What is it that really makes you guys unique?
Good question, Max. I think really it's a combination of having all the ingredients, right? There's a lot of projects out there that are high grade, that are in difficult locations to work in, or maybe don't quite have the right team. I think we've put a fantastic project together with the experience of EMX royalty. We've got senior leadership on the board. We've got very good shareholders. We're positioned with historical resource now through one of our acquisitions. We've transacted with a major successfully. And I think we're in the right space at the right time.
Well, when most people think about investing in gold mines, there are really two angles they look at it. Many of them are looking at it as a levered play on gold. Other people look and they see this is a great property that's not being valued properly by the market. When you think about your company and the reasons to invest in Goldline at this moment in time, is it because of the backdrop for gold? Is it because of the resources and the assets that you guys have?
Oh, it's 100% about the resources and assets. We've put together a portfolio that is probably one of the most attractive portfolios in Fennoscandia. Large land packages in the best places to be working. The kind of work that took 8-10 years of planning to put together, and the kind of investment where you can get 10, 20, 30 times your money. I mean, this is not an investment in gold. This is an investment in a strategic management group that is creating value through its acquisitions and through strategic exploration. So ultimately, the gold price is fantastic. We're in a good, solid $1,800 zone. I've been in this business for 20, 25 years, and I've seen gold at $400 an ounce and $1,200 an ounce, and here we are at $1,800 an ounce, which makes for a wonderful backdrop, but we are 100% an opportunity based on our assets and the work that we're doing in Finland and Sweden.
Okay, well, let's talk about some of those assets. You guys have recently made some acquisitions. Can you talk about some of the new parts of the portfolio?
Yeah, we recently completed a transaction to extend our portfolio in Finland. About a month and a half ago, we announced the acquisition of Agnico as Oijarvi and Solvik projects. This gave us a maiden resource, a historical resource still before we can quantify it, but 250,000 ounces of high-grade 4.1 gram material. This gives us a resource, and this, most importantly, is a known discovery in a greenstone belt, which we now control 100% of that greenstone belt. We have over 25 kilometers of strike length. We have multiple zones that we want to test that ultimately we believe are mineralized, and I think we're ultimately going to be the next, exciting discovery in Fennoscandia.
Okay, so you used two phrases I would like for you to help make sure everybody understands. So what is a historical resource and what is a greenstone belt?
Okay, so historical resource are ounces that have been drilled and defined. Agnico and the previous companies on the project drilled over 217 holes, about 50,000 meters of drilling. So we have actually a contained gold resource of 250,000 ounces, and we have the potential to extend that significantly given the fact that we own the entire greenstone belt. And a greenstone belt is a geological structure that is known to host elephant-sized gold deposits in Canada, in Africa, and in Fennoscandia. There are multiple exciting discoveries on greenstone belts in Finland right now and in Sweden. And we are very fortunate to have transacted with Agnico Eagle on this Oijarvi project, which gives us this historical resource and essentially tells us we're not looking for gold. We've actually already found it. How can we now extend it? How can we deliver value by building that resource up?
Okay, so obviously that means going out and drilling more holes to figure out how much you actually have. What is your plan? What is your timeline around going out and doing more of that exploration?
We're in the final stages of closing the transaction. We're having the permit transferred to our subsidiary in Finland. Once that is in place, we can apply to the government and have a permit issued for exploration. And ultimately, we're very excited to get in and get working as quickly as possible. The exciting thing is in Finland, if you are a new corporation working in the country, you're able to get on that property very quickly and start to spend money and do work on the property. So our plan is to go out and obviously drill the known targets that we have, confirm some of that mineralization, convert the historical resource into an inferred mineral resource that we can then define as our maiden resource. And ultimately, I believe we have a very exciting chance to build a multi-million ounce deposit out of what we know is a discovery on an entire greenstone belt.
So I know there's one particular asset that you wanted to talk about today. Can you talk to me about the Solvik asset, which I know also came through in that deal where you got those assets in Finland, how that all came together?
Yeah, so Agnico actually acquired this about 10 years ago and has done some exciting exploration work on it. Coincidentally, Benny Matheson, who is one of our lead technical advisors, Benny was the one that actually discovered Solvik, I believe in 2008, 2009. So Benny has seen some of the work that they've done over the past couple of years. He's very excited about that asset. It too is on a greenstone belt further south in Sweden, and there's a known deposit there. I believe the Harvest deposit is right there. So it's not as prolific as an area, but it's significantly underexplored. And it is a new discovery that ultimately we are getting back from our original discovery with Benny. So Agnico put those two projects together. It was the two of them together that we acquired, and ultimately, we had Benny, walk the ground on both of these projects, and he's very excited by both Solvik and OHRB.
So once you go out and you find that, what is the next step? Is this something that you're going to be developing yourself, or are you looking to pass this along to another company that's further along in the supply chain?
Yeah, I think given the situation with major companies right now and mid-tier companies, year after year we have production of gold going down. We all know that every year that goes by we're producing less and less gold. So really our strong suit is to put a strategic plan together, define a significant resource, and likely sell that to a major. We do not have the current team to put a mine into production. We could likely expand that team, but our expertise is on strategic acquisition of projects and extension of those mineralized opportunities through exploration.
So it's clearly a very great set of assets that you guys have put together. So that begs the question, how are you able to get your hands on these fantastic assets?
It's really opportunity, comes in small windows, and we were able to close a transaction where we acquired these assets from EMX. This started out, I believe, about 2010, 11, where Eric Jensen, PhD and head of exploration, our technical advisor and our board member, he identified the Swedish Greenstone Belt as a unique opportunity to grab a prospective land package in an area that is well known for mineral success and has very limited exploration. So they, as a group, always looked at Sweden and said, hey, these greenstone belts, these geological structures have significant potential. And it's not like the Canadian Shield where, this has been around for 100 years plus and drilled and explored by hundreds and hundreds of different companies. We're talking about maybe 15 years of concentrated exploration in this region. So EMX waited for the lowest point in the market, saw when everyone was out of money in 2015, realized the entire belt had pretty much been let go. And in Sweden, you have to wait 12 months before you can reapply. And Eric and his team diligently were prepared 12 months and 1 minute to go in there, and they grabbed the entire belt. And for 2 years, they consolidated the packages. They essentially high-graded the best projects. They did systematic exploration for years. They raised money privately through some entrepreneurs here in Vancouver, and ultimately the opportunity became available, and we closed the transaction, and we're fulfilling the vision of EMX and Eric Jensen's ideas around this project. And it's very exciting to be able to go into an entire belt, control the largest assets that are actually surrounding producing mines and known discoveries. Puts us into a very strong position. And ultimately, I think it was also why we were able to transact with Agnico. They looked at our core package, they looked at the work that we're doing, and they looked at our team and said, hey, this would be a perfect fit to build a premier exploration company in Sweden and Finland.
All right, so talk to me about some of the exploration that happened in this region before. One of the things that I noticed in doing my research was you talked about the modern techniques that hadn't been brought to the region before, but it is one that has been recognized for. You talked about it's well known for the ability to find minerals there, but why has it been left for dead? And what are some of the new technologies that you guys are going to be able to bring to the region that you think is going to help you expand some of these resources that you bought?
Yeah, good question. So historically, both Sweden and Finland were closed to outside investment. Sweden only opened up their borders to, and ultimately did all of their technical work in the 70s, 80s, and early 90s with the Geological Survey. So you basically had government-run planned exploration that was confirming mineralization, that was basically testing mineralization, but it was never a systematic approach with modern techniques, modern ground surveys, geophysics, and some of the sampling techniques we have that we can cross-compare what we're finding at surface, how the geological and glacial terrain has changed over the last many hundreds of years, and ultimately just following what other successful companies are doing recently to make discoveries. So you've got this country that's been, rich in gold for over 1,000 years. We know gold has been there for a long time. We've got significant other mineral resources, and now ultimately, because of the price of gold, of being in this economic region where it's justifiable to go out and look for gold, we have this opportunity to go and apply a lot of these new techniques, and most importantly, take the expertise of EMX and their exploration team to really, pinpoint our specific targets. We've done a lot of base of till drilling on our gold line projects over the winter. We're going to be releasing results on that here shortly, but ultimately we're also following Rupert Resources. Rupert has had a tremendous success at their projects in Finland. They did a tremendous amount of base of till drilling. So really what you're doing is you're spending your money on shallower holes to try and identify the vein structures. We are sitting on known resources. The projects that we identified are historical resources. We know there is mineralization. We know there is gold there. Can we identify it and drill it the right way to obviously, excite the market and build out a technical model that's going to stick together? So we're basically following on with this base of till drilling, 20, 30 meter holes that essentially give us the understanding of what's happening before we hit bedrock, and ultimately we're looking to just pinpoint the exact drill structure, drill targets that will give us the technical success we need to go and move forward. Important to note is, building out a resource is the most important thing for adding value to shareholders. We've got a maiden resource coming together with our historical resource in Finland, but it's good to see that we have consistency in our drill strategies. We have consistency in the holes that allow us to build a sound model, and ultimately that sound resource that we're developing should allow us for a very systematic, targeted approach to add ounces to that deposit.
So I want to talk now about how this is going to get priced into the stock. It's earnings season right now. I think everybody's familiar. The earnings come out, it either hits or it's a miss. In mining, is there something similar? You have results coming out. Everybody knows when the drill results are coming, and then there's a sort of beat or miss aspect to it where people kind of have a feeling about it. How does it work when there aren't revenues? It's really about what you guys find.
Yeah, you have to appreciate that. One, do you have real opportunity with the properties you have? Are they sound projects? So when we're working with a company like EMX, obviously we have done tremendous amount of due diligence and have tremendous confidence in what we have as a land package, and most importantly, what you're doing here is you're not generating revenue. You are investing money to expand ounces and to build a portfolio. So you can measure us, one, by how many ounces we have, two, by the size of our land package, but it's pretty important to appreciate where this land is. This is not in the, in the northern peak of Sweden or difficult jungle terrain in the Congo. We are actually situated between other deposits that are successfully mining gold today. We have, this is Sweden and Finland. This is essentially, like working in Canada essentially, but having access to these amazing projects. So for us, I think the way to value the project is, one, are we hitting on our targets? Are we successful technically? And how do you value that? Today we're a 30-cent stock. with 85 million shares outstanding, you're a $24 million company. One drill hole and we could be a $100 million company. We could be a $150 million company. So ultimately, the results that we put out there, investors have to appreciate that we are very likely going to find gold in areas that are already, situated with operating mills in the area. We have no issues with access. We've got, highways nearby. This is a very comfortable situation for us to work in. A government that is actually very pro exploration and appreciate us funding these exploration programs to build these values. And I like to explain it this way. In Finland, we've done 50,000 meters of drilling. We have 250,000 ounces of actual gold in the ground. That one day, if we get that to 1 million, 2 million, 3 million ounces, that will cost, in the order of hundreds of millions of dollars to extract, to create billions of dollars of value. So this is not a digital currency that is, like a cryptocurrency. This is not a Bitcoin. This is a physical asset where we actually have to pay to store the drill core, to store the proof of that exploration. So essentially, we've bought assets and we've built a portfolio of projects that we will continue to explore, develop, and we think that value has the potential to be very significant for us. And we believe companies are going to be looking for large land packages situated in first world countries, and there's going to be very few opportunities that are going to be very similar to what we've built here with Goldline.
So it seems like you have put together a pretty interesting team. You have people from this royalty company who are doing exploration for you. Can you talk to me a little about the team you've put together?
Most importantly, we've got Henrik Lundin as our chairman. Henrik is a local to the area. He was instrumental in doing a lot of the private financings that with the private company before we acquired it. Henrik's got great local relationships and ultimately is a wonderful steward on the board and supporting what we're doing going forward. Eric is a brilliant PhD. Has got 3 decades of experience with multiple discoveries, and ultimately it's his vision that came together after many, many years of patience and waiting through bad markets. So ultimately, those 2 people provide great value to us going forward. We've got Benny Matheson, Louis Thiel, very seasoned exploration geologists that add tremendous value to all the work that we're doing, the due diligence that we're doing, and the planning that we're doing for our summer programs. We've got a fantastic shareholder base that's continuing to grow, and ultimately it's trying to position and what you'll probably see from us is the announcement of some of our core team members. We are slowly but surely building out our own technical team here to support the work. This is a tremendous endeavor now. We acquired 4 projects from EMX originally, and now we've acquired 2 more from Agnico. It puts us into a very good position, which means in exploration, not everything you drill works out. This is a game of consistency and perseverance. Good times are bad, and again, Eric has shared many stories with me of companies fighting, preserving their budgets, and on their last drill hole just nailing the right hole that sets off a discovery and changes the course of a company. We have a very systematic approach to everything that we do here. If we see something that does not justify further work, we have a consistent flow of new opportunities as well. So, we're in the business of finding gold. I believe we have some of the best properties in Europe that will be able to do that. And with a little bit of luck and a little bit of success on the drill rig here, we're going to be probably the next mine in Europe. So we're very excited to be moving our projects forward, and ultimately, time will tell where we end up.
Adam, thank you so much for coming on and sharing this opportunity with the Real Vision audience.
Max, thanks for having me. A lot of fun. Very excited about what we're doing and very excited about what you guys are doing as well. Thank you so much.
Goldline Resources has put together the most impressive portfolio of gold assets in Scandinavia, making them the largest mineral rights holder in Sweden and Finland. And as drill results come in, Goldline expects to create substantial value for shareholders. They're already massively undervalued relative to their peers, and together with their partners at EMX Royalty Corp, they're in the process of expanding on what they already know to be significant historical resources in one of the most prolific and underexplored regions in the world.